Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Lavender Group live today. I think we're right on time. We're a little bit early, we're a minute early, so we'll just kind of wait a couple of minutes for folks to kind of jump online here. Very excited to be here this morning on Saturday. I seem to be attracted to holidays. The last time I did one of these was on Mother's Day weekend, and now it's Memorial Day weekend. So I don't know what that is about me and the holidays, but I'm very, very happy to be here. And just checking the time again. Very happy to be here. Very excited about this opportunity, excited about being able to speak to all of you, and to be able to hopefully help you out and give you some inspiration, and have you try to make a difference in your lives. Really excited about that. So let's check it's 10 o'clock. Time to get going. So I am going to be looking down a little bit. I got my notes, which is a good thing that I have notes, because I don't want to get off track. And I love to talk, especially about this work, especially about my journey, especially about this topic, because I just want to share. I just want to share and hopefully be able to inspire others. So the notes are to keep me on course and talking about one topic today, and to make sure that this is for you and that you really are able to get something out of this. So let's get started. This is choosing the other road, taking steps to living with purpose. And so, I'm grateful to be here to serve and hopefully be able to impact your lives. I was listening because there's always research, always preparing. I was listening to Lisa Nichols, who's wonderful, and she does a speaker's workshop. And she said, she asked us, how do you like to leave your audience? And it was really kind of interesting because I said, well, how do I like to leave my audience? What does that mean? And so she said she likes to shake people up. And so I was like really interested about that. I said, shake people up. Yeah, to leave them that way. And that really inspired me because I said, because sometimes you think shake people up, you get scared, but I think that's important. Good morning. Hey, Lindy. How are you? I think it's so important for people to be shaken up a little bit when they leave, because I want you to take action. I want you to do something different. I want you to be inspired. So being a little shook up is a good thing. Some other things that I'd love you to be is I'd love you to be encouraged, motivated, inspired, informed, and enlightened. So those are some things I'd love to leave you with, but a little shook up a little bit too, just a little uneasy with what's going on in your life right now. I'd love that. I'd love that. So this is my gift to you. I have two gifts for you today. So this is my first gift to you, this workshop, just hopefully sharing with you my experience, sharing with you what has happened in my life so far. Thank you. Congratulations. I appreciate that. So I appreciate that very much. So, so I think that, this is my gift to hopefully inspire you and to hopefully have you make a change in your life. And then my second gift I'm going to give to you at the end of this workshop, and you'll be able to hopefully use that as well. So hopefully this is, I feel very giving today, and I really do. This is why I do this. This is why I want to do this. I want to give back to the world, to God, because for me, I can't believe where my life is right now. I can't believe I'm on Facebook Live. I would see people do this stuff all the time and go, oh my gosh, they're so brave, they're so awesome, and they are. And I never thought in a million years I'd be sitting here and just feeling comfortable and just feeling at ease talking to my friends, and hopefully soon to be new friends, and just enjoying life. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate this opportunity as well. So I want you to take a moment and think about you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me in a couple of minutes, but I want you to think about your story. We see so many celebrities, which is great, that inspire us. You've got Oprah out there, you've got Michelle Obama, and incredibly inspiring people. But your story is inspiring too. Your experience is important. Who you are. on a daily basis, we need to be sharing our wisdom, sharing our experiences, helping people out, not keeping quiet because we don't think that we're big enough or we're not reaching enough people. Your neighbor needs you, your friend needs you. So think about your story and think about the amazing things that you've learned and own your story. Hold on to your story, accept your story, because it's amazing and it's you. And it's important to realize that it's unique. The other thing I want you to think about is why are you here? Why did you decide to either watch this live, or why did you decide to watch this on the replay, or why did you decide to hit that play button today? And what intrigued you? What made you go, you know what? Yeah, I want to watch that. I want to listen to that. So I really want you to think about that. I want you to think about what made you decide to do this today. And your why is so important in life. Your why in any part of your life. Your why when you're doing anything is important, because that's what keeps you committed. That's what keeps you solid. That's what keeps you going. So knowing why you're doing something and having a good why as well is important. Is so important to, and when I say a good why, I mean a why that comes from inside. Not a why that comes from the outside, but a why that comes from inside is the strongest whys, what I've found in life. And the most important why is because of me, because I want to do this for me. That's the most important why. And then having some depth to that. I want to do that because I want to change. I want to do that because I want my life to be different. Those are the whys that kind of keep you moving forward. The other thing I want you to think about is, what do you want to get out of this workshop? Seek and you'll find. So what do you want to get out of this? Is that one thing right there? Wow, that impacts me. That's great. So think about what you want to get out of this workshop, and have that on your mind. I bet you'll get it out of there. That's how I always feel when I put an intention out there. I say, I'd love to get this out of this. I get that back, and it's really nice. And then the final thing is, what do you believe in? Thank you. Thank you. You are too. You are too. What do you believe in? Where's your faith? Where's your faith? A lot of times my faith is, this question, you see it all the time. You see it all the time when you're, or hear it all the time. If you're at church, or sometimes if you're around your friends that are, deeply spiritual, which is wonderful. And they might say, well, what's going on with your faith if you're struggling with something? And I thought I had faith. I thought I was, faithful and believed. And I realized, when the chips were down, my faith was, I was worrying, I was struggling, I was acting out, and I didn't have a lot of faith. So where's your faith? And the reason why I ask that is because when you're doing, some of the exercises or doing some of the stuff, you might say, oh, I can't do that. That's not for me. I'm not going to be able to achieve that. You might say that to yourself, and that's where you got to think, where's your faith? Where's your faith that life can be different? Where's your faith? In Job it says that, in Joshua, I think it says it talks about how I have plans to prosper you, not to harm you. And I love that scripture. I might not be quoting the exact book that it's in the Bible, but I love that scripture. I love that. I read that all the time. It's like, plan to prosper you, not to harm you. And you have to remember that as you're going through life. When you're able to receive good information, when you're able to take in something that inspires you to do something more, keep going, because that's the life that God wants for you. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. So just try to remember that. And I'm going to actually look that up and put that in the comments after I publish this. So you can have that scripture and just meditate on that, because it's just an awesome scripture. So I'm really, really excited about that. So that's that. So I'm going to tell you about me, a little bit about me. So I'm 52 years old. So I'm midway through life, I guess. And, I just had a tough time, up to maybe like 3 or 4 months ago. And still, I'm not perfect. Still working the journey, and had a tough childhood. And I didn't realize, you say, oh, I had a tough childhood, and I didn't realize how tough my childhood was until I was able to really see in the light the anger, resentment, lack of forgiveness, the jealousy, the envy, the stuff that I got from my childhood. And my parents did the best they could. They really did. They did the best that they could with what they had. And I did get a lot of positive things too, my work ethic and a lot of stuff that I have. But that negative stuff, I just didn't have the foundation and the tools to take on life. And I took all of those negative tools with me into my 20s, into my teens, into my 30s, into my 40s, and it was a train wreck. And on the outside, I put my costume on every day, and I appeared successful. I appeared like I knew what I was doing, but I was miserable. Miserable. I would wake up in the morning and just cry. I cry, sometimes all day long. Close the door and cry, and I was just waiting to die. I was I knew I had my kids. I'm really going to get raw and honest with you. I had my kids, and so I wasn't going to do anything to take my own life. But I really had no interest in being alive, and it was sad. And I thought that was my life. I thought this is it. This is it. This is how life's going to be, and it's not. It's not how life's going to be, and it's not how life is. My life has taken, when they say 360, my life has taken a 360, and I'm really grateful for that. So that's a little snippet about my life. I did write a book, My Path to Emotional Freedom, so if you want to read a little bit more and hopefully get inspired by my journey and where I am now, that has more details in there, and I'm sure as I do more of these, I'll be sharing more of my life as well. But that's kind of the snippet of what my life is about. And what I wanted to do is take my experience. I didn't want this to all that 52 years of just I'm talking turmoil, and it's emotional, maybe some physical abuse as well, but really a lot of emotional abuse from all different arenas. I didn't want that to be a waste. I didn't want that to be a waste. And we go through what we go through, and I feel like we need to use that to help other people. And that's really what this is all about. I want to, other women, I know there are other women that struggle emotionally. You can purchase the book on Amazon. On Amazon is the book. Someone just asked the question where you can purchase, on Amazon, you can purchase the book. And just put in My Path to Emotional Freedom. I do it all the time. I don't know why. I'm so excited about having finally written a book. But anyway, you put that in and you're able to purchase the book. Thanks for that question. So yeah, what I want to do is, women go through so much emotional pain, and I just want, one woman. I just want to help one. That's it. It's funny because even with the book, I only wanted to sell one book, and I was happy. And I just want to help one person, just not to be in this struggle. It gives me joy to see. I used to work in senior living, and when I did that, I worked with a lot of families, and my joy was not getting the move-in or the marketing or the sales, so to speak. It was really just seeing that loved one, daughter, son, what have you, walk through the door, maybe 2 or 3 months later, and just see the relief on their face, and see their, the older adult, whether grandma or mother or what have you, just enjoying themselves within the community and really, having a better life. And that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do for women. I want to say, hey, you're awesome, you're powerful, you're wonderful, and you are. You just are. There's no, you wake up, you just are. When your hair's a mess, you wake up raw, you are amazing. You don't have to do anything. You're amazing just because you're a creation of God. That's just the pure, honest thing that I believe in. And so, Gandhi says you want to be the change you want to see in the world. And I want to see the light. I want to see the beautiful light that people produce. I want to see the people living with purpose, and I want to see what becomes of a world. Can you imagine a world where we were all living with purpose, where we were all doing what we were meant to do? And I'm not saying it's not about, becoming a life coach and opening your business. You could be a waitress at a diner, and that's your purpose, and you're awesome at it, and you love it, and you inspire people every day. Thank you, amen. Yeah, it's not about being, a millionaire or a billionaire. It's not about that at all. It's about just living the way you were meant to live, your contribution to the world, and your contribution, again, it's there, and I want, and it gets squashed by our emotions, and I was living like a puppet. I was on a puppet string, strings. I was, my emotions was one string, people were another string, and the third string was just, life in general. Life in general was just weighing me down, and I was just being ruled by it every day, and not having any sense of my own decisions, what I liked. I wasn't even driving the car I liked. And again, I got my car. I got a great deal on it. It's a used car, so I didn't go out and buy whatever, Mercedes. I just have a real simple car, but it's a car that I like and I enjoy. I wasn't even wearing the clothes that I like. I went natural with my hair, and I wasn't even having the hairdo I wanted. I was just kind of living this life of cloning and trying to fit in so that nobody would criticize me, no one would notice me, and that's no way to live. That's no way to live. And I think people are beautiful when they're just being themselves. I just, that's the way I want to see the world. And it's probably crazy and aggressive to want to help one woman at a time bring out their light, but I'm going for it. I'm going for it. So, and that's it. That's why I do what I do. That's kind of me in a nutshell. How do you get the most out of this workshop? And really, this is how do you get, to me, this is my life rules. How do you get the most out of any kind of thing that you're doing? Anything you're doing, any kind of event you're attending, any type of, even going to the grocery store, I don't know, just life in general. So these are my little rules that I have, okay? So this is how you get the right mindset in life. It's never too late. Excuse me, it's never too late until you die. It's never too late. You're listening to this and you might go, oh, I'm whatever age, 35, 40, 50, and, oh, it's too late for me. Never too late until you're not here, until you're dead. It's never too late. You can always do something different. I am amazed at how my life has changed. Amazed at how my life has changed. I love my life. I love my life. That's something that I couldn't say, and I do. And so, you're never, ever, ever too late to change. Ever. Ever. Never, never, never. You're unique, you're strong, and you're a capable person. Never too late to change. Use your why. We talked about the why. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? Always remember that. Always remember you're here. You're there for a reason. There's no, oh, why I'm here by accident. You're here, there, wherever you are for a reason. Remember that. Remember that. And stick with that. And remember your why. Remember your why. Why did I do this today? Always keep that in your mind and get that little golden nugget. I call it charms in my book. Get that charm. And that's, why I do that? Because my son played so many video games growing up. And you know how you have the charms that you get in the video games. And so that's what it is. Get your charm so you can move on to the next stage in your life. Get your charm. The charms in the video games give you power. They give you energy. They take you to the next level. So get your charm. Get your charm. Remember that. Remember your big why. The big reason why you're doing stuff. The big reason in life why you're doing anything. Remember that as well. Be a learner. Be open. I always feel so bad. My daughter, she's 9 years old. And talk about wanting to impact one woman. Here's right here, my 9-year-old. And, she goes to school sometimes. She was struggling in math. And she was just like, Mommy, I can't do it. Of course you can't do it. No one wants you to be able to do it right now. You're going to school to learn. And I realized that I put that in her. I put that non-ability to want to learn in her. She feels like she needs to know how to do stuff because she learned by example. And that's my example. Feeling like I needed to know how to do something and not willing to try something new and to be something different and to do something different. And so now I say to her, you're there to learn. I don't pay, I'm going to do this, pay my taxes in this town so you go to this great school so that you can go there and tell them, hey, I got that, I know that. No, you're in school to learn. You're in school to learn. And that's what you're in life to be a learner. You're not done. So you went to high school and graduated. So you went to college. So you got your master's, your doctorate. You're not done. You're here to learn. Be open. And I'm telling you, the most magic words are, I don't know. You ever be in a group of people and they're talking about a dinosaur or some medical term, and you're just sitting there and you're going, oh my gosh, and you never learn because I know me, I'm afraid to say I don't know. So my big thing now is like, I don't know that, can you tell me more? And you're gonna get looks. People are gonna look at you, you don't know. They're gonna, oh, you don't know? No, I don't know. Stand strong, stand up. No, I don't know. Posture is everything. I don't know. I don't know. Beautiful words. Try it today. Try it. I don't know. And you're gonna be amazed at the knowledge. You're going to be inside of books, YouTubing, online, doing all sorts of things with that wonderful question. I don't know. It's a great statement. You can't get something different if you keep doing the same thing. You can't. You can't. It's the definition of insanity. You expect different results, keep on doing the same thing. You can't get something different. You got to try something different. Back in August, I left my job. I was in sales and marketing. Horrible situation. I take my part in it, huge part in it actually, but a lot of emotional abuse. It was horrible. And I got a wonderful severance package. I was very grateful for that. And I was just about to, my fingers were on that keyboard. I was just about to apply for another sales job. And all of a sudden something said, what are you doing? What's going to be different? What's going to be different at this job than the job that you had, and the one before that, and the one before that? So I stopped and I took that pause, and that was the greatest moment of my life. I wrote a book. I have my own company. I'm a life coach. I'm certified, and I'm loving life. I'm loving life. It was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I did something different, and it was, let me tell you, I've been working since I was 14 years old, and some people I know worked even younger than that, but 14 years old I've been working. I have not taken a break. I have not stopped a beat. I worked through college. I worked through pregnancy. I worked through everything. I didn't take, when I was pregnant and had both my kids, I continued to work at home. I never took a break. And I took a long break. It was from August all the way through to March. And I was writing a book. I was doing stuff, but I meant like just a break from the corporate work environment, and it freed. I had that mind space to write a book. So it's super important that you do something different. Take what you need from this and leave the rest. Take what you need, leave the rest. So think of it like a spice rack. Say we're making scrambled eggs. I only like salt and pepper in my scrambled eggs. That's it. Some people like dill. Some people like garlic. Okay, that's great. You don't. You can leave those on the shelf. So maybe being a learner, I'm not really into that. That's great, but maybe, you could do something different, meant something to you. Great. That's your salt and pepper, maybe a little bit of dill. Okay, you do you. Take what you need and leave the rest. Don't critique the dill and the garlic in life when you're doing something. Don't critique what you don't want, because you're going to get all caught up in that critiquing and judging of your dill and your garlic, and you're not going to enjoy your eggs with your salt and pepper. You're not going to enjoy what you've created because you're too busy. Oh, why did she say that? Or why did they do that? Or whatever that may be. Take what you need, leave the rest. I'm sure you've heard it before. It's phenomenal because you can get something out of where you are because that's what you're doing. It's a great thing. The other thing, final, just take notes. Why take notes? So you can go back and review them and question them. Question them. Don't be a follower. Don't be a follower. Yes, listen to your directors and bosses and to people with wisdom, yes. But don't just follow them. Okay, don't just follow them. Learn, research, pay attention, and come up with your own ideas, your own thoughts, your own take on things, and don't be afraid to question. Don't be afraid to question. You don't need to follow. You're a unique person. You have your own journey, your own set of life rules. I just gave you my kind of life rules. You got develop your own, and go out there and tell people, because we need that. We need that flavor. We need that in life. We need that. So today I'm going to talk to you about where you are right now. Where are we right now? I'm going to talk to you about what keeps us doing the same thing and not taking the other road. I'm going to talk to you about how to take that first step and how to stay on the other road. That's what I'm going to talk to you about today. And I'm obviously going to explain to you, what in the world is this other road? What are these roads? What is she talking about? I'm going to talk to you about that as well. So I got 3 points. I used to belong to this fantastic church locally here, and and the gentleman who did the minister always had 3 points, and I love that. 3 points is phenomenal. Why is 3 points phenomenal? Because it was great. It was great not to have to, 8 points, 10 points. Who can handle that? 3 things. That's all we're going to talk about today. 3 points. So here we go. We're diving in. Here we go. Deep dive. So where? Okay. You got to know where you are right now in order to get where you want to be. You got to know where you are to get where you want to be. If you don't know where you are right now, how are you going to get there? Think about it like a GPS, okay? So say I want to go to Starbucks in Newington. I live in Connecticut. So I want to go to Starbucks in Newington, Connecticut. Say that's where I want to go. Well, where am I right now? Now, GPS is going to detect where you are. That's how it is, which is great. But let's say, hey, Scott, how are you? Let's say for some reason, let's pretend the GPS doesn't do that. You got to say where you are to know where you're going. So make sure you put in where you are, where you're going, and where you are and where you want to be. So you want to do that with you. So you got to know where you are to get where you want to be. So that's how life works. And so came up with a great tool, which I use. It's called Living Assessment. It is in my book, but I'm actually going to post it in the comments afterwards, so you can be able to do this assessment. So don't worry about writing all this down. I'm going to post it in the comments, a link to this assessment, and you can take this assessment and figure out where you are now. So your GPS, where am I right now? So there's 13 categories: work and career, finances, health, spirituality, purpose, attitude, emotions, being authentic, family, friends, co-workers, spouses, significant other, and dating, and accepting and loving myself. So those are like the 13 categories. Again, don't worry about writing that down. I am going to put that in the comments. And you'll be able to have that life assessment. So once you put those down, so let's say finances, where are you now? Where do you want to be? Where am I now and where do I want to be? Again, GPS. I'm in West Hartford, Connecticut. I want to be in Newington at the Starbucks. Great. GPS goes, okay. And it starts talking to me and telling me where I got to go. Same thing with life. Got to know where you are. So those are 13 categories, and I really broke it down. A lot of people have 10 categories, and they combine relationships all together. I think it's important to divide it all out: family, friends, and your spouse or significant other, because it's a whole different thing. Those relationships are completely different. You could be having a great time with your friends and yelling at your spouse. You could be having a great family relationship, and your friends are like, oh, get out of my life, kind of thing. So it's important that you pay attention to those kind of separately. So that's your GPS. Now we're going to take that temperature of where we are, and this is not a judgment thing. This is not for you to go, oh, I don't talk to my sister Agnes, I'm a horrible person. No, this is not what that's about. This is not a shame, a guilt. This is just finding out where you are so you can get where you want to be. So it's not to start reading it and crying and, oh my gosh, I can't believe. No, that's not where you want to be, because that's not going to get you anywhere. Just about taking the temperature. The other thing is, here we go in the roads. This is the good part. So, and again, I'm going to be very transparent with you. So part of my journey, part of my action plan to get where I am right now is I'm in recovery. So I have a sponsor, and I'm in a support group, and I love it. It's phenomenal for me. It's helped me immensely. And one of the projects she had me do was 2 roads. So here's your roads, okay? So right now you're standing at the top of the road. Think about walking on a hiking trail, okay? And there's a fork in the road. And so sometimes there's a blue trail and a red trail. Red trail takes you back to your car. Blue trail takes you, someplace else, which is great. So you're standing there right now. And now here you go. Here's your choice. So what you do is you take the 2 roads. And for me, the first road is just deciding to make a change in your life. Okay, so I had the positive road and the negative road. So I had the left road and the right road. So the right road was the positive road. The left road was my negative road. And on my negative road, I had self-doubt. I had anger, resentment, frustration, sadness, loneliness, and no faith, fear. You see where this is going. So that was my left road. That was the road that I was on. And I could have stayed on that road if I wanted to. My other road was I was positive, not settling, getting what I want, true to myself, authentic, taking my time, self-fulfilling, fun, gratitude, peace, love, faith, perseverance. This is the road I want to be on, right? So that's where I was. And so I took that first step on by not typing in that resume and getting that job. That was my first step on that other road. I said, hang on, I don't want to be on that. Keep going, back to my car, to that other road. I want to stop and get on the other road. Get on the right road. That's why I put it on the right. See how I did that? The right road. So get on the road. So that's your fork. That's your first fork of your two roads. Life in general. Life is a whole big picture. Okay, I'm going to do something different. Along the way, you got your sub-roads. So you got your sub-roads. What are your sub-roads? Well, we just talked about your 13 categories. Work and finances, purpose, family, friends, your relationships, those types of things. That's your sub-roads. So for example, with finances, I could have stayed on the road of, paycheck to paycheck, being in debt, being unhappy, or I can go on the other road, not being in debt, doing the things I want to do, being generous. That's the other road. So you got the big road right now, your main road where you're going, okay, what am I going to do right now? Okay, right road or left road? Okay, for me, positive or negative road. I got on the positive road. And then along the way, I had these sub-roads where I had to make a decision. With my marriage, do I want to stay on the road that I am, or do I want to have a good marriage, close relationship with my husband, honest relationship with my husband, transparent relationship, closeness? These are your sub-roads. And you don't have to take all the sub-roads on at the same time. You can decide which sub-road you want to work on. And what's great about that is every sub-road, every action causes a reaction. So if you're working on your finances, that's ultimately going to affect your marriage. That's ultimately going to affect your purpose. That's going to affect your attitude. It's, you know what I mean? So every road kind of affects each other, but you just decide which one you want to work on. So those are the roads. That's how the choosing the other road, and taking steps, living intentionally, not just kind of letting the wind kind of blow you around and like I talked about earlier, kind of being on those puppet strings, but really making your decision and saying, okay, cut those strings and say, I'm going on the other road. And I tell you, your life will never be the same. So that's point number one. Where are you right now? And then choosing that other road, making that decision, standing where you are, doing that assessment, and then, okay, now what? Now I got to make a decision. And it's not going to be easy. It's, nothing in life worth having is easy. I always thought, it's supposed to just happen, life. If I'm happy, I'm going to be happy. If I'm not, I'm not. No, you got to work at it. You got to work at life. Okay. Work, life is hard. And the other path is hard too, but it's going to seem a little bit easier because you know how to get to your car. You know how to, okay, great. The other path, there might be some mountains, there might be some peaks, there might be some sticks, there might, there's woods, and, it's going to take you a while to get back, if you, to find your way, but it's worth it. It's worth it, the other road. Definitely worth it. So that's the roads. If you have any questions on the roads, any questions on that, feel free. I'm going to put information on the life assessment in the comments after, and I'm going to put my email address. Reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you, and this is my gift, so I'd love to talk to you. Absolutely. So point number 2, we're going to keep going here, is what. So what is holding you back? What's holding you back? What do you need to do to get on that other road, and what will happen if I take that other road? And I'm going to tell you right now, you can do it. You can do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because you can do it. You're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to be miserable. You're supposed to be not all the time happy. And I'm not saying I walk around all the time with a big smile on my face. No, there's no perfection here. But I tell you, I got way more moments of joy and happiness than I have of despair. I have tools. I have a tool chest of tools that I can use to keep me going and keep me in that mindset of you can do it. You can do it. So, one of my favorite celebrity story is, I'm going to get my little notes here. My favorite celebrity story is Sylvester Stallone. And you might have heard this before. I absolutely love his story because first of all, I love Rocky, and you watch these movies, and I never in a million years thought that this was his backstory. You know, you think Rocky, oh, he's amazing, Sylvester Stallone. Well, he is amazing, but it's amazing. He was a struggling actor. I don't know, you know, where did that come from? And at some point, he was just broke. He was homeless. He actually stole jewelry from his wife. Okay, stole jewelry from his wife to keep going. Okay, obviously that's how the homeless part came, because he stole from his wife and then he became homeless. He had a dog. He lived in a bus station for 3 days in New York. He had a dog, and he actually took the dog. He went to you know, he wanted to sell the dog, so he found a gentleman and on the street, and he sold his dog for $25, and he walked away crying. That dog meant everything to him. He walked away crying. 2 weeks later, he saw a boxing match between Muhammad Ali and another opponent, and it just inspired him. He went somewhere, and you know, probably written by hand, and he wrote this script in 20 hours. See, that's what happens when you're living on purpose. That's what happens when you're inspired. In 20 hours, he wrote this script. Okay, the first Rocky, the one where, you know, Adrian, you know, the first Rocky. And he went out and tried to sell this script. I think it's like to 30 different places. And finally, he found someone that was really, got an offer for $125,000. You got to remember, $125,000. He's homeless. Now, to any of us, $125,000 sounds awesome, but he's homeless. So $125,000. And he made a request. Okay, you're at that point. If you're anyone standing next to him, you want to do that kind of that slap in the back of the head, like, "What are you doing?" You know. He made a request. He wanted to star in the movie. He wanted to star in the movie. So he makes this request, and they're like, "What? Who are you? You know, you're not. Nah, you're not. You know, we want, you know, some big star at that time frame, and you know, we want to sell this movie." And he didn't back down. Didn't back down. Didn't back down. And the studio wanted this movie. They saw it was unique, as we know. It's awesome. It was unique and different. So they offered him $250,000, and he was like, "Nope." Okay, $350,000 they came back with. He still was like, "Nope." So ultimately, he wanted to star in this movie. This was his goal. This was what he wanted to do. So they gave him $35,000. Okay, he came down from 350 to 35, so he could star in the movie. And obviously, he got all sorts of rights, and which he's smart to the, you know, he's a gazillionaire now. He, you know, this is the best part. He went back and got his dog. Okay, he went back and he got his dog back for, according to this story's been told so many times, so you know how that is. I think he $1,000, $15,000 he paid to get his dog back that he had sold for $25. This dog just, you know, meant everything to him, and I get that. You know, it's, you know, something that means something to you, you go for it. 15 out of his 35,000, just so you know. And the rest is history. I mean, he's amazing. You know, he's put out these amazing movies, and he got his goal, and that's just hopefully to inspire you. That inspires me, because if he can do that, I mean, he's homeless. I'm not homeless living in New York, and I'm not selling my dog. I'm not being thrown out of my house. You know, I'm not. These things aren't happening to me. But he persevered, and he got what he wanted. So you can do it too. You can do it too. Sylvester Stallone is special, and he's amazing. But you're special and amazing too. And that's what we have to remember. That you know, looking at the celebrities and stuff, they're special and amazing. You're special and amazing as well. And so some of the things that might be holding you back is fear. What is your fear? You know, I didn't realize how much of a fearful person I was. I did not realize how fearful I was. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of people. I was afraid of people I thought I was all, you know, tough with. That's fear. I was afraid. I was afraid of life. I was afraid of debt. I was afraid of failing. I was afraid of everything. Just living in fear. Fear of speaking, you know, in front of people. Fear, 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 fear. And that held me back. It held me back from doing the things I wanted to do. And so I truly started believing, again, where was my faith? That God's going to protect me. I'm not, you know, one of his orphan children. I was one of his children. And I started to believe that God's going to protect me. And I started looking at my history with God. I started looking at the amazing things that he brought into my life and the things I've gone through that he protected me from. I went through postpartum depression. It was horrible, horrible. And here I am, and I'm not depressed. That's a horrible thing for people to have to go through, but I got through it, and I know that's because I was meant to go through it and get through it so I could share with other people my experience with it. I truly believe that. And so that's the first thing that could be holding you back, your fear. So take a look at that. Really take a look at that. We're not as big and bad as we think we are. I'm not as big as bad as I thought I was. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to say, wow, I'm afraid. When you think you're criticizing something and judging it and judging someone, you're afraid of them most likely. You're afraid of them hurting you or what they can do to your career or whatever those things are. But don't be afraid to admit that you have fear and then work on that. Figure out, break it down, why am I fearful? And come up with tools, affirmations, sayings to help you with that. The other thing is, what are your beliefs? What are your beliefs? We're all here for a reason. It's scary to me to think of, there's certain parts of any state or town or city where there are people that are living not as well. People wake up. Some people wake up drinking, or using substances, drugs, and it's scary to me, and it's sad to me. It breaks my heart to know that those people are not forgotten people. They're not worthless. They're not unnecessary. They have a purpose too. And so we need to believe, we need to question our limiting beliefs about money, about our career, about who we are, about what we are, about our purpose. There's no extras in this in this wonderful play called life. There are no extras. We're all necessary. All of us are necessary, and it's important to realize that. And so look at your limiting beliefs and talk about them. Bring them into the light. I was talking to someone the other day, and she's just really down and depressed, and amazing woman. And she started talking about it. And she said, I've been living with this for so long, and now it's out there. Now it's out there. Now she's starting to get help. It's like we can't be in our head. We got to talk about stuff. Talk about your limiting beliefs. Share them. Write them down. Don't be afraid. Be honest with everyone, but definitely be honest with yourself. Definitely be honest with yourself and say, you know what? Wow, I believe that, I'm not meant to have money. I believe that I'm not meant to have the life that I want to have. So don't have limiting beliefs around that. Who told you weren't good enough? Who told you weren't good enough? That's another, thing that holds us back. Someone told us we weren't good enough. What is the voice in your head that prevents you from moving, taking the other road? You know what? They're wrong. They're wrong. You are good enough. The same woman that I was talking to, the voices in your head, she was like just beating herself up. Wow, I can't believe you didn't get up this morning. Wow, I can't believe you're not getting the work done. Stop. You are good enough. You are worthy, and get those voices out of your head, because they're not yours. They're voices that you've inherited over time. So get those limiting beliefs out of your head. Get them out of your head. Affirmations is a great way to get rid of those limiting beliefs that are in your head. Affirmations. So pay attention to the critical voice in your head and put down the opposite. So if you're saying, I can't believe you, for me, I'm a jealous person. So I can't believe you're so jealous. I can't believe you're jealous of that person. Okay, so the opposite of that, write that down, and that's your affirmation. To be accepting and appreciating other people. That I will appreciate other people. I will accept other people. I will love myself. I will love my unique gifts. So say your affirmations. And what I love is I was listening to Jay Shetty, who I absolutely love, and he said to make them into questions. So don't just say, I will not be jealous. Make it into a question. How will I not be jealous? How will I achieve this? How will I not be jealous? And it's important to do that. How will I not do that? And that helps you, because now you're making it an action, and really having a reason. It's good to say it because it changes your mindset, no doubt, but it's also good to have a plan of how I'm not going to do that. So make sure that you are good enough, and make sure try to start doing some affirmations that empower you in the morning, that make you, you are a wonderful person. And then how am I going to remember that I'm a wonderful person today? How am I going to have that affirmation? So, one of the things I do is I pray a lot. I give my fears to God. I give my fears to God. So if I'm fearful of something, if something's bothering me, I pray. I pray and say, you know what, this is what I'm feeling, and I'm honest with God about what my real fear is. If I'm, I was talking about jealousy. If I'm feeling jealous about something, I'll pray about it, and pray for direction, pray for guidance, pray for that light to see why am I jealous? Why am I jealous? And get rid of your limiting beliefs and that critical voice in your head. Get rid of that and get on that other road. Don't let all of that prevent you. So what is holding you back? What do you need to do to get on that other road? And what will happen if you take, what is going to happen if you take that other road? Well, we talked about that, those two roads. Go back and take a look at your list of your two roads that you wrote down. Your great things that are going to happen if you take that right road. Stay on the same road you are, the negative things that are going to happen. And that's what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, I wrote that down. And if I go back and read that again and look at it, those things have happened. Those things have happened to me. I didn't write that when it was already happening. I wrote that when I was at the tip of the road. At the tip of the road, I wrote that when it was just starting. And those things have happened. I have more joy. I'm not settling. I have more positive moments. I have more happiness. So just pay attention to that, and that's what's going to happen. That's definitely what's going to happen. But think about what's going to happen if you don't take the other road too. I watched a wonderful film a few years back called Sliding Doors. Love that film. It's with Gwyneth Paltrow. Again, Sliding Doors. It's on Netflix and so forth. And it's not roads or anything. It's actually literally she is at work and she gets fired. And so one of her takes the train. And then right when she's in the front of the door, the other one misses the train. And at that point, the movie kind of divides. So you got the story of the one that takes a train and the story of the one that doesn't take the train. The one that takes the train goes home and catches her boyfriend cheating on her. I mean, it was horrible. And her life, she left him and she went on to start her own business. She cut her hair. She looked awesome. She started being the person she wanted to be. The other one, she didn't catch the train. She ended up walking home, didn't catch the boyfriend cheating, went on, stayed with him, and ended up living her life. And I'm not going to tell you the end so that you can watch the movie, but it's kind of cool. And that's really what taking that other road is about. It's about you deciding to take that other road rather than the negative road, and the different things that are going to happen in life. And that's that movie. I love that movie because I relate to that movie, and I remember, okay, wow. So that my life in August was so, I always say, so sliding doors. That was so sliding doors because I actually, I guess I missed the train, or I caught the train. So it was pretty cool. So point number 3 is how. So that was the what. We did the where, the what. Now here's how. How do you stay on the road? How do you take the first steps? How do you take those first steps? Okay. So first of all, number 1, we talked about the why. Okay. What's your big why? Find your purpose. What's your why? Okay. So really think about why. Why do I want to get on that other road? And obviously that exercise of the 2 roads can help you. I said the why shouldn't be something on the outside of you, but if that's what motivates you right now, if that's at least what gets you moving, great. If it's your kids, if it's your spouse, if it's your, having to pay your mortgage, whatever that is, if that gets you on the road right now, great. Because as you move along the road, you will find you will find your authentic self, and then you will discover your own personal reasons that really will keep you on that road, because you're like, wow, why in the world would I want to go back to that life? Why would I want to walk backwards to get back on that other road? Why would I want to do that? So that the whys in life, and you should have many of them, for every 13 categories I mentioned earlier. For your finances, why? Why do I want to get out of debt? Why do I want to do something different? Why? because I want to do the things I want to do, because I want to be generous, because I want to not be stressed out. Why? These are whys are important. If you don't have a why, your why shouldn't be, I mean, it could be, but I was talking to this woman again, and she was talking about how she wanted to do this business, and she didn't really like doing it, but she needed to do it because she needed to make money. And I said, your why is not deep enough. That's why you're not motivated, because your why is not deep enough. So, find your whys. Find your purpose. Find your purpose. They say that your passion is what we love to do, and your purpose is when you give it away to other people. So your passion is what I love to do. I love to write. I love to help people. I love to serve. I really do love to serve. So that's my passion. That's what my passion. So what do? Now I can give that. I give that away. My writing, I give away. I love to research. I love to discover new ways to live. And so now I'm giving that away to other people. And so that's my purpose. And Gandhi says, I love Gandhi. So Gandhi says, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service of others. So the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service of others. And again, what an amazing world we could have if we were all living the purpose we want, we were supposed to live, and then we were all serving each other. What an amazing world. That's my vision. That's my vision, hopefully one person at a time. And it's going to be a rolling effect. Hopefully I will inspire someone, and then they'll inspire the next person and the next person, and who knows? We have to have dreams in order to make a difference in the world. How can I find out your whys, okay, and remember them, and when you get discouraged, those are the things that are going to keep you strong. Those are the things that will keep you strong. And that's what's going to keep you on that other road. That's what's going to keep you grounded. And then discover your passion, because you might not, maybe you don't know, maybe you don't realize that, what your passion is. And then take that passion and make that your purpose. I have a wonderful woman that I met that does scrapbooks. She puts together prayer journals. And so something she loves to do. And now she creates them. She creates them in bulk. She customizes them, and she gave one to me, and it's amazing. Okay, I love it. So here she is. She loves crafts and to put these together. That's her passion, and now she's giving it away, and it's become her purpose to kind of really inspire people with these journals. And so that's how you do it. That's it. Just find something your passion. And it doesn't have to be your passion, and your purpose doesn't have to be. You don't have to make money off of it. You don't have to make money off of it. You can have a purpose and be doing it and just do it. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be monetary, but it's important to realize that you're here for a reason, to really find that reason and to live that. I really feel like it's important. It's our duty. I feel like it, and do the work. Do what I call it the root work, the core. You got to get to the core. If you want to stay on that road, you got to break it down. There was that movie with Sandra Bullock. I watch maybe way too many movies, but that movie with Sandra Bullock, I can't think of the name of it, with the football player and as her son, but his Tim McGraw's in it, who I love, and he talks about how she's an onion. He was talking about his wife, Sandra Bullock. It was character is an onion. You got to peel that onion. You got to break down that apple and get to the core. You got to get to the core. You have to do the root work. It can't be surfacey. It can't be, okay, so I'm a jealous person and I do my affirmations. I don't want to be jealous. No, I got to get to the root. I got to get to the core of how I'm not going to be jealous, of why am I jealous? Where did that come from? It's like weeds and dandelions in your yard, okay? Or I like dandelions actually. But anyway, weeds in your yard. So if you're pulling up a weed, you can't just cut it off at the surface. That thing's got to grow back. Weeds are strong. You got to pull that out of the ground. You got to pull that at the root. Now that weed is most likely not going to grow back. So you got to get to the root. You got to do the work. You got to do the work. And you got to get real. You got to get real. And it's not, and you got to be careful not to shame yourself or, oh my gosh, and, You know, you got to cry, you got to punch some pillows, you got to do the root work to stay on the road. And you got to get rid of all that stuff. You're carrying that on your back, that load of stuff, of the past. The past is meant to teach us. The past is meant to teach us. So you take what you need and leave the rest. That's all. That's the past. That's what it's for. You know, I walked outside and I walked on gum. Gum is sticking to my shoe. Guess what? I'm going to pay attention when I'm walking next time, especially when there's kids around. I learned. I'm not going to now walk around going, oh my gosh, for the rest of my life I walked in gum. I'm going to learn and move on. That's what the past is for. So you got to do that root work. Got to do the root work. Get support. Get support. You can't do this alone. You can't. You don't have to. We're supposed to have people around us. Okay? And so get a mentor. Get some mentors. Get a life coach. The right friends. And I say the right friends not to be mean. You've got some people that have been in your life forever. I'm not saying cut them off, and I'm saying set boundaries. Set boundaries. Because there are people, they say, I'm probably going to mess this up. You're the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. You're the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. The average. So that's kind of scary. So look at your people, the 5 people that are around you the most, and say to yourself, okay, what do I got to do here? Got to start to set some boundaries. And there's certain people you have to, they're in your life, and they're in your life, and you gotta deal with that. But there are some people that you can kind of distance yourself, and you'll be amazed that once you're not around that critical, judgmental person, that person that gives you that bad advice. So get the right friends. Support groups are phenomenal. I'm in a support group. I love it. I love it. If you're having a struggle that requires that, go. Do what you need to do to get things right. Online resources, YouTube, search online and do some discovery there. Books, get support. Get the support. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Ask for help. We're there. People are there for a reason. Find people that you admire, that you really admire, okay, that are a few steps ahead of you. Don't spend time, someone that's standing next to you that's your friend, and you're right in the same spot. They're in debt. They're in a job they don't like. Their marriage is a mess. That's great for support. Okay, hey, look at what's going on. But don't take advice from that person that marriage is a mess. Don't take. Support them, love them, but don't say, hey, what do you do when your wife does this, or what do you do when your husband does this? Because that person is not the person. Find someone 3 or 4 steps ahead of you that you admire their marriage, and again, do some diving in there. Don't just admire it from a distance and when they're out, in the yard, because of course they're on their best behavior. Really pull that guy or girl aside and say, hey, your marriage seems great. What's going on? Be honest with me. Is it? And if it is, I love it. How do you doing that? Don't be afraid. I was so envious and jealous of those people that were successful. I was like, I wouldn't hang out with them because they showed me I was hanging out, and nothing wrong with hanging out with that person standing next to you. But you need those people 3, 4 steps ahead of you. So if you want to start your own business, don't get advice from the person just starting out. Maybe advice on how they registered their company, whatever. Get advice from that successful person that started their business 2, 3 years ago. And again, deep dive and make sure they are successful, not on the outside at the networking group. They're shaking your hand. Oh yeah, maybe, yeah. And then come to find out they got debt, or they're not doing well. So make sure that they're really successful. Make sure they're really successful. So few steps ahead of you. Get advice from those people. Get guidance from those people. So that's it. That's it, really. So that's your where. Where are you now? What road are you on now? Where do you want to be? Kind of get that GPS going with your life assessment. Do your 2 roads exercise and figure out where you are right now. What keeps you doing the same thing? What keeps you doing the same thing and not taking the other road? What's holding you back? What's your fear? What's your limiting your belief? What's that terrible critical voice in your head? Okay, so what's holding you back? Sit down and figure it. And again, you don't got to do this stuff by yourself. We just talked about getting support. We just talked about ways to get support on that, and that's important to get help, to get real good clarity and get the right help. Be careful, help is not, oh, I asked my friend. Well, you know what? Really, did you ask seek wisdom from the right place, we talked about how to take the first steps and how to stay on that road. Okay, so your purpose, your big whys, your big reasons for doing, how to stay on that road is getting support, getting the help, and really peeling your onion away, getting to the root and finding your real self. So it's important that you do that. It's important that you do the deep work, and that's how you stay on the road. That's how you stay and pay and live here, be in this moment. Don't drift, don't go off somewhere else. Be right here in this moment, and that's that. Pay attention to your steps as you're moving forward. Check in every day, all throughout the day. Check in and stay focused. So big question for you. Where do you want to be in a year, 5 years, 15 years, 10, 15 years? Look at where you are now. Is this where you want to be? Be honest with yourself. Again, there's no shame and being honest and being aware. And if you feel like you're not where you want to be, do something different. Don't wait a year from now and go, oh. And you'll be amazed. To me, I heard a lot of this stuff, that I've been sharing with you all throughout my life, all throughout the years. But I heard it, but I didn't hear it. I wasn't listening. I'm talking now, but the biggest thing is to be quiet. Be quiet. I was not good at being quiet. Listen to what's going on. Pay attention and listen to what's going on. I used to be, if you want to know my deep story, I used to be a crazy partier, big partier. And I had to look at, what if I stayed on that road? I see people my age, that unfortunately, a lot of them, they pass away, they have heart attack or, overdose, pay attention, look down the road at where you are now. Let's say for me, I'm going to use partying as an example because unfortunately I've had a few, people that I know pass away. So look down that road and say I'm partying, hanging out with my friends, and I'm doing my thing every Friday, Saturday night. And then look down that road and see, someone that, for me, I'm in my 50s, so someone that's in their 60s that's still doing that. And if that's not where I want it to be, it's not where I want it to be. So I got on a different road. So for you, I don't know, say you're in a job right now, or you're in debt, and you're spending. Okay, so look down the road, someone that's doing that and a little bit older than you. And if that's not where you want to be, then you got to do something different. Get on a different road. Get on a different path. I've got tons of examples of in my life of, my marriage is a good example. Where did I want my marriage to be? You look down the road, I see, people that were in the exact same type of marriage I was in, and there's, divorce, separation. Is that where I want to be? No. I had to do something different. You got to do something different. And don't be afraid. What's next? The name of this workshop is Choosing the Other Road, and I've got great news for you. Great news. By being here watching this workshop, by paying attention to what I'm saying, you're already on the other road. You're already on the other road. You've already taken your first step. You've already said, you know what? I got to do something different. Now stay there. Do some of the stuff that I talked about. Go online, do some other research. There's other wonderful people out there that can help you stay on the road as well. But you're on the road. You're there. You've already said, okay. So guess what? If you're there, stay there. Stay on the other road. Don't leave. Don't leave that other road. You have discovered some awarenesses today. Some amazing awarenesses. I'm hoping that you discovered them. That you're not where you want to be. Okay? You're not where you want to be. That you have to do something different to achieve your goals, dreams, and the life you really want. That you're an amazing person. That you have purpose. That you have meaning. Okay? You want change, you want joy, you want peace, you want happiness, you want prosperity, you want love, you want purpose in your life. Those are your awarenesses. So you've already started to take your first steps and said, okay, something's got to change. Now you've got to get to the root. You gotta get to that root and start pulling up those weeds and start really doing the work. And so we're going to take a little minute and do a little visualization exercise, and then that's it. I only got 2 more pieces of paper left, and then we're going to wrap up here. So, close your eyes or just just kind of sit for a minute and visualize. Okay, visualize the person that you want to be. Okay, visualize where you are. What you're wearing, what you're doing, who you're with, and what you're feeling. So let's say you're struggling in your marriage. Where are you? Maybe you're at the beach. What are you wearing? Maybe your wife or we'll say your wife or your husband is wearing shorts. Your wife's wearing a nice flowy, nice dress, and you're walking along, holding hands, walking along the beach, and you're feeling great. You're talking, you're laughing, not a care in the world, and visualize that, and that can be, oh my gosh, that can be. My marriage is not perfect at all, but it's wonderful. It's so much better than it was, and you visualize. You can't get to what you can't see. So visualize, visualize yourself being out of debt. Visualize yourself in that career you want. Visualize yourself getting along with your mom or your dad or your family member. Visualize it. This whole path is about stopping. It's a lot of stopping and listening, paying attention and pausing. A lot of pausing, and this is part of your pause. And once you visualize this, have your journal and write down what you visualize. My company's called the Lavender Group, and it's called the Lavender Group because I named my visualization of this woman that I wanted to be, and her name was Lavender. And she was on the beach, and she was in a purple dress, and she had short hair, and she was sitting there having a good time, and her husband came up and sat next to her, and her husband, thank you, and her husband came, and he, they sat and they talked, and that's Lavender. So therefore, the Lavender Group. I wanted to remember, that visualization. So it was amazing. So now let's make it happen, okay? My program is called the 3 A's, okay? The 3 A's. Awareness is the first step, which we've already started to do. Second step is acceptance, accepting you, accepting your past, present, accepting, the future work you're going to have to do. And then action. And action is really just taking your life assessment. And so, for example, if your finances, let's say right now you're in debt and you don't want to be in debt. This is really simplistic. So that in the middle, between being in debt and not being in debt, that's your action. And so you come up with an action plan. So you're aware that you're in debt. That's your awareness. You accept where you are right now. No shame, no guilt. This is where I am. That's where I want to be. That's your acceptance. How do I get there? Action. Action is how I get there. So that's how that works. You got to have the right tools. So we talked about that as well. And so my second gift, yay, I love gifts. So my second gift is I'm giving away free life coaching sessions to anyone, whether you have friends that maybe watch this and they watched it and or you watched it, and you have friends that didn't watch it, I meant, and you want to say, hey, you know what, and this person's down on their luck or what have you. Maybe it's not you and it's them. I'm going to put in the comments my email address. I'm going to put in my Schedule Once is a program that I use, and I'm giving away free life coaching sessions. And so what does that mean? That means that they will walk away with an action plan for one of their or your issues that you're having. So let's say you're having trouble with your finances, whatever it may be. We're going to come up together with an action plan around that. and there's more work to be done. You got to do all the onion and all the root work as well. But at least you'll have an action plan for one thing that you're struggling with, one thing that's keeping you off the road. Want you to stay on the road, and I really want you to. So if you're here or you have a friend that needs help, it's a true free life coaching session. Notice I didn't say consultation. It's not a consultation. It's a life coaching session. So we're gonna dive in. The one thing that I would require folks to do, there's always work to get the reward, is to do the life assessment, to do the 2 roads work. Some of the other stuff I talked about, try to figure out what's your why, and to choose one topic. And I require honesty and openness. And I'm very discreet. I am not going to be out there blasting whatever's going on in someone's life, obviously with their name attached to it. So I'm very, very discreet like that. So that's my gift, free life coaching, a true life coaching session, because this is what I want to do. I would do this. It's funny, they say, do what you want to do, whether you're making money or not making money, kind of, so to speak. And I would do this either way, because this is what I love to do. So that's my gift. That's my Memorial Weekend sale, gift. And I'm really excited about that. So send me your friends. I'd love to be able to help them out, and kind of get them on that other road. And if you've already taken those steps and you want to kind of deep dive and really get going and really kind of experience this and get to a better place in life, I am here. I am willing. And I'm very excited, and this has been great. And I thank you, all all of you that joined me today, and everyone that's on the replay. Thank you. You're amazing. You're unique. You're amazing, and I'm glad you are. And I look forward to doing more of this. So I am done. And this was fun, and I look forward to doing this again. All right. So have a good day. Enjoy your Saturday. It's beautiful out, and be well. God bless.